Hare Krishna, good morning, devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Someone want to unmute themselves? There is nobody here.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan and to Naranayan Rishi, the supermost human being, and to Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, who is the author. So today we are reading from the third canto, the status quo, and we are continuing to read from chapter 5, Vidura talks with Maitreya. And we are on text 49. So 3, 5, 49. And today is October 14, 2023. It's supposed to be a historical day. We'll see why. We understand it later. Hare Krishna. So one Sanskrit word at a time. If someone could unmute themselves and repeat after me. Yavat.
Yavat.
Balim.
Balim.
Te. Aja.
Aja.
Arama.
Arama.
Kale.
Kale.
Yata.
Yata.
Vayam.
Vayam.
Cha.
Cha.
Anam.
Nanam.
Adama.
Adama.
Yatra.
Yatra.
Yata.
Yata.
Abayesham.
Avayesham.
Te. Ime.
Ime.
I. Loka.
Loka.
Balim.
Balim.
Arata. Aranta.
Aranta.
Anam.
Nam.
Adanti.
Adanti.
Anuha.
Anuha.
Okay, one line at a time. Yavad balim teja aramakale.
Yavad balim teja had makale.
Yata vayam chanam adama yatra.
Yatra vanyam kananam adama yatra.
Yato vayesham te ime iloka.
Yato vayasham te ime iloka.
Balim aranto nam adantianua.
Balim haranto nam adante anuha.
Yavad balim teja aramakale.
Yavad balim teja haramakale.
Yatava yamchana madama yatra.
Yatat vayam kanam adamayatra.
Yato bayesham taime iloka.
Yato bayesham ta'ime iloka.
Bali mahanto nam adantyanu ha.
Balim haranto nam adante anoha.
Yavad balim teja ramakale.
Yavad balim teja haramakale.
Yata vayam chanam adama yatra.
Yata vayam chanam adama yatra.
Yato bayesham ta ime iloka.
Yato bahayasham te ime he yoka.
Bali mahanto nam adantyanu ha.
Balim haranto nam adante anuha.
Hare Krishna, someone who would like to chant the verse online? There is only people online today, nobody's here. Anyone would like to chant the verse? Okay, so one Sanskrit word with translation. Yavat. Someone can read?
Yavat
As it may be.
as it may be.
Balim,
Balim
offerings.
offerings.
Te,
Te
your, aja,
aja. Oh, sorry.
O
Aja.
unborn one.
Oh, unborn one.
Rama,
Rama
shall offer.
shall offer.
Kali,
Kali
at the right time.
at the right time.
Tata,
Yata
as much as.
did you hear me say as much as?
Vayam,
As much as. Yatra, I thought was the next one.
vayam,
Vayam.
we,
We
cha,
shall
also,
also.
anam,
Anam,
food grains,
food grains.
adama,
Adama
shall partake,
shall partake.
yatra,
Yatra,
whereupon,
whereupon.
yata,
Yata,
as much as,
much as.
ubayesham,
Ubayesham,
both for you and for us.
both for you and for us.
Te,
Te,
all,
all,
ime,
ime,
these,
these,
he,
he,
certainly,
certainly,
loka,
loka,
living entities,
living entities,
balim,
balim,
offerings,
offerings,
aranta,
aranta,
while offering,
while offering,
anam,
anam,
grains,
grains,
adanti,
adanti,
eat,
eat,
anuha,
anuha,
without disturbance.
without disturbance.
Translation. O unborn one, please enlighten us regarding the ways and means by which we can offer you all enjoyable grants and commodities so that both we and all other living entities in this world can maintain ourselves without disturbance and can easily accumulate the necessities of life, both for you and for ourselves. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Developed consciousness beginning from the human form of life and further increasing in the form of the demigods living in higher planets. The Earth is situated almost in the middle of the universe, and the human form of life is the via medium between the life of the demigods and that of the demons. The planetary systems above the earth are especially mean for the higher intellectuals called demigod. They are called demigods because also their standard of life is far more advanced in culture, enjoyment, luxury, beauty, education, and duration of life. They are always fully God conscious. Such demigods are always ready to render service to the Supreme Personality of Supreme Lord, because they are perfectly aware of the fact that every living entity is constitutionally an eternal subordinate servitor of the Lord. They also know that it is the Lord only who can maintain all living entities with all the necessities of life. The Vedic hymns echo Bahunam Yo Vadada Tikamam Ta Enam Babuvam Ayatanam Na Prajaniti Yasmin Pratistita Anam Adame, etc. confirm this truth. The Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord is mentioned as Bhutabrit, or the maintainer of all living creatures. The modern theory that starvation is due to an increase in population is not accepted by the demigods or the devotees of the Lord. The devotees or demigods are fully aware that the Lord can maintain any number of living entities, provided that they are conscious of how to eat. If they want to eat like ordinary animals who have no God consciousness, then they must live in starvation, poverty, and want, like the jungle animals in the forest. Jungle animals are also maintained by the Lord with their respective foodstuff, but they are not advancing God consciousness. Similarly, human beings are provided with food, grains, vegetables, fruits, and milk by the grace of the Lord. But it is the duty of human beings to acknowledge the mercy of the Lord. As a matter of gratitude, they should feel obliged to the Lord for their supply of foodstuff, and they must first offer him food in sacrifice and then partake of the remnants. In Bhagavad Gita 3:13, it is confirmed that one who takes foodstuff after a performance of sacrifice eat real food for proper maintenance of the body and soul, but one who cooks for himself and does not perform any sacrifice eats only lumps of sin in the shape of foodstuffs. Such sinful eating can never make one happy or free from scarcity. Famine is not due to an increase in population, as less intelligent economics think. When human society is grateful to the Lord for all his gifts, for the maintenance of the living entities, then there is certainly no scarcity or want in society. But when men are unaware of the intrinsic value of such a gift from the Lord, surely they are in want. A person who has no God consciousness may live in opulence for the time being due to his past virtuous act. But if one forgets his relationship with the Lord, certainly he must await the stage of starvation by the law of the powerful material nature. One cannot escape the vigilance of the powerful material nature unless he leads a God-conscious or devotional life. What a purpose. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyanajala Shalakaya Shakshun Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayamupa Kadamayam Tatati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shigu Shiyuta Padakamalam Shigum Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vidam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dima Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangira de Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpata Ubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvesesya Shunyavadi Pastyacha Dejatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, unborn one, please enlighten us regarding the ways and means by which we can offer you all enjoyable grants and commodity so that both we and all other living entities in this world can maintain ourselves without disturbance and can easily accumulate the necessities of life both for you and for ourselves. I'm just going to grab a book. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So the demigods, they were in a position that something was asked of them. They were given a task, like we are given task every single day. And then, they could have jumped into the task. Okay, let's figure it out. Let's make a plan. Let's take some books. Let's research the internet, do so many things to figure it out, how to do their task. But that's not what they did. That's not what they did. And we can learn from them in this regard. So what they started to do is glorify the Lord. They didn't ask for anything too. We can also notice that. The prayer started with glorifying the Lord, glorifying how He's the source of everything, and glorifying the creation, glorifying His devotees, glorifying pure devotional service, glorifying how just by chanting His name, by worshiping Him, one can free oneself from the material contamination. And then understanding, like, in humility, we are not capable of doing what you ask us to do. They didn't go like, yeah, we are demigod. Come on, we are in the right position. We are given that position. That means that we are capable, so we are going to do it. No, they didn't go there. They went into like, we have no power. We have no clue. We have no power to do the task that you ask us. So again, we can learn in this regard when in approaching all our prescribed duties, because that's their prescribed duties. Their prescribed duties is to make sure that the universe is run properly. They are the agent of the Lord to make sure the material universe and this one universe. In every universe, there is demigods. Every universe, there is Brahma and a host of demigods. And they are instructed by Garbhodakashayi Vishnu and Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. Take care. You take care. You take care of the organization, the logistic, the laws, the way things happen. It's your job. And so they're like, oh, it's too big. It's too big. We have no clue how to do it. And then, yeah, like we are unable. You're so beautiful. You're so amazing. You have everything. Everything emanates from you. You're the cause of all causes, Sarva Karna Karanam. And please guide us to do our job. Please guide us that we will know how to do our job. Because often we have prescribed duty and we don't know. We don't know how to do our job. Because our job, in fact, if we surrender to the Lord, our job is going to be done by His agency, not by our agency. And we all have a place in the universe, like the demigods have a place in the universe and they have a prescribed duty, but not simply the demigods. Every living entities, the conscious living entities and the less conscious living entities, the trees have a job to perform. And under also the guidance of the demigods, the grass have a job to perform. All the animals have a job to perform. So every living entity is in the universe. And then when the living entity comes to the human birth, then at that time, the human birth is a place where the living entity can ask question: who am I? And what is the purpose of human life? And here Srila Prabhupada explained that developed consciousness begins from the human form of life and further increase in the demigod. So what's the difference? Well, animals are very conscious. A lot of people think animals are very conscious. And so we need to define consciousness. Are they conscious? Are they instinctive? Is their consciousness go beyond the 4 activities of the living entities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? Are any of the activities of the animals going beyond that? And that's okay. So if all the activities are only for that, and as we observe the animals, we can see that's where they spend most of their time. And as long as human beings spend most of their time in those activities too, they're not yet quite human. And that elevated consciousness that's there available for human being, not necessarily that human beings are going to take advantage of it, is that ability to ask questions that are not about eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Questions that are about existence, existential question. And that's the boon of the human life. And that's where consciousness starts, in that place of when we are starting that inquiry about the absolute truth. Kamasya Nandriya Priti, Loba Jivata Yavata, Jivasya Tadva Vigyasa, Nartayascha Karmabi. Sutta Goswami said to the sage in Naimisharanya, he said, life desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should only desire self-preservation or a healthy life, because human beings are meant to inquire about the goal, the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goals of one work. So nothing else should be the goals of one's work. And so we want to take a look, okay, how do I apply that? Like for the demigod, the goals of their work was not to maintain the universe. The goals of their work was to please the personality of Godhead. And naturally, they turn to the personality of Godhead when they are given so many responsibilities, because they understand, because the demigods, their consciousness is so elevated that they are called demigods because they are God consciousness. They always remember the Lord. There is no moment in what they do where they forget the Lord. They may have still some, material desire, but even that, those material desires are devoted into their God consciousness. Dharma swat nustita pumsam vikvakshena katasya nat padayet adi ratim shrama eva ikevalam. Shrava eva ikevalam means a complete useless waste of time. That's what that means. Shrama eva ikevalam. Complete useless waste of time. So the occupational activities, all occupational activities a man perform according to his own, position. We have different positions in life, are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attention, attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. So whatever we do, if it doesn't bring us closer to self-realization, if it doesn't bring us closer to that inquiry about the personality of Godhead, then it's kind of moving the material energy. Sometimes when we do Qigong, we put a ball, we make a ball like that. And I love that exercise. We make a ball and then we move the ball. And then if one is sensitive enough, we can really feel it, like really feeling the energy. And then I had a teacher that say, okay, put your energy in that ball and continue to move it. Okay. So, and then now bring your friend in that ball and continue to move it. And now bring your enemy in that ball and still send so much, so much love. Now bring everything, all the evil in the world, and bring that. And then, like, when I do that exercise, it really connects me with, like, how the shifting of the material energy one way or another is not doing anything. It's just a preservation of energy. And it's not really tapping into the core of the disease of this world, which is separation from our original consciousness. And that creates so much pain. Srila Prabhupada says that there is no scarcity in this world. We have, our Father is the richest Father, the most powerful Father. If we turn to God, everything is provided for us, including peace. Right now, there is 2 major wars on earth. There is so much calamities, natural calamities, earthquake, like my brother were born in Morocco. So whatever is happening in Morocco naturally is touched me because my family have a lot of ties there. And yeah, I think like 10,000 people died from earthquake or something like that. It's like huge. And then Libya, there is like a flood. And then, there is so much calamities happening on earth right now. And it's just the beginning. The next few months more is going to unfold. More and more. Why? And there is no material solution to any material problem, because material solution, like Einstein said, there is no, the mind cannot fix some things that the mind created. I don't remember exactly the quote from Einstein, but something like that. And yeah, so human being is really creating havoc, like hell on earth. And Srila Prabhupada said the human form of life is a middle range. It's between demigods and demons. So demigods have all their necessities of life given. They are extremely intelligent. They are very beautiful. They have clear water, beautiful gardens. They have abundance of tasty vegetables. Just the other day, Rohini and I, she's not here anymore, we went to see someone, and she wasn't, she traveled in Europe, and she said, it was so nice to taste a tomato. And I say, yes, I know. I haven't tasted a tomato for such a long time. So the demigods, they have all like very tasty vegetable and fruits and abundance and beauty and excellence in relationship. Like in Earth, the age of Kali is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. So there is always quarrel for nothing, and hypocrisy, lies, deception. That's what's happening here. And so we are in between. So if we turn to God, if more and more human beings turn to God, then we have a demigod's life. Everything is provided in abundance. If we turn to demoniac tendency, thinking we are the Lord and we are controlling and it's ours, being entitled, like not even thinking how our substance coming from and how come I receive sun every day, light. Could be dark, but the sun rises every day and I don't do anything. It's none of human endeavor, planning committee that create the sun rising every day. No, it's not. Or the moon that grows vegetable, or the rain that's coming to give for vegetation to grow, and for us to also drink. For all living entity needs drinking, like all necessities. And even we can see, factories, God doesn't create the computer. Okay, God doesn't create the computer. I create the brain that create the computer, but okay, you don't see that, that's okay. But where is uranium coming from? Where is silicon coming from? Where is iron? Or where are all the raw material for all that's created in a factory coming from? And just by asking that question, we're already making progress. Just by really truly coming to a place, instead of entitlement and taking for granted what we have, what we receive for our sustenance, moving from entitlement and take it for granted to a place of gratitude, this is a jump, a huge jump towards living like demigods and receiving what demigods receive. And so, yeah, Prabhupada said, enjoyment, luxury, beauty, education, duration of life, that's all given. And then if we are not accepting, Krishna said in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, he said, Aham sarvasya prabhavo, mata sarva pravartate, iti madva bhajante man, Buddha bhava samanvitaha. For me, I am the source of all material and spiritual world. All material and spiritual world. For me, everything emanates. And he says, the sage who knows that perfectly, if we know that perfectly, doesn't need to come anymore. Is free from this material engagement. So let me see. I don't want to be too distracted. So as human beings, we can go up or down. It's up to what we are going to do with our free will. Of course, we are all under different mode of material nature, and sometimes it looks like it's difficult. But wherever we are at, the process of Krishna consciousness work. Even if I'm really deeply in ignorance, and I do a little bit by like, thank you, Krishna, for for providing my bottle of wine. For example, mode of ignorance, I'm a drunkard. Okay, I'm a drunkard, I'm in a mode of ignorance, I just don't know what I'm doing. But if I do that one, like, where is my wine coming from? Where is the grapes coming from? Where is the intelligence of human being to make wine? Then I make so much advancement right there. So wherever we are at, there is always a way for us to increase our God consciousness. And then Srila Prabhupada speak about food and conscious eating. We think, like Prabhupada used the word conscious eating, and it's such a buzzword now. Everybody think of conscious eating, new age, mindfulness eating. So conscious eating is that I'm conscious that what I'm receiving, the oranges, the apple, everything, and he said even the meat. And that's interesting that Srila Prabhupada goes there because he wanted to make a point here. He said, similarly, human beings are provided with foodstuff like grain, vegetable, fruit, and milk by the grace of the Lord. But it's the duty of human being to acknowledge mercy as a matter of gratitude. I guess it's another purport where in Bhagavad Gita where Srila Prabhupada say even if they eat meat, even if people eat meat, the living entities, animals come from somewhere. So I wanted to read some verses from the Bhagavad Gita because there are a series of verses that really tap into what we are looking at now in the Bhagavatam, and that give us a bigger picture of how the universe, the demigod, the agent of the universe work, and how we are all benefiting. We are all working conjointly. We have like the president of the United States, and then there is the different ministers, and there is the different cabinets, and then we can say, oh, they don't exist, and then not following the law and not following anything, and then we have a miserable life. Or we can work in conjunction with those different agencies, the ministers, and then ultimately with the president. And then our life as citizen is very, very well provided for. We are protected. We have roads that we can use every day. There is a system of circulation, traffic that's also provided. And there is also people who are helping to make sure that system is intact, because without that system, it will be chaos and dangerous to be on the road. And we have provided light, electricity in the street. Maybe we take all that for granted, but we can look at it in the same way that we look at, like being provided by the Lord. The government does provide. I'm not saying the actual government are saintly. No, they are all plunderers. The Bhagavatam said governments and politicians, they're all plunderers in Kali Yoga. Still, the agency of the government do provide for us a system, security, ways to travel, ways to get what we need for our human need. So those verses from the Bhagavad Gita help us to kind of broaden our perspective. So I'm going to read a few. We are reading from the chapter 3 entitled Karma Yoga, and we are going to start with text 9. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Other work bind ones to the material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. In that way, you will always remain unattached and free from bondage. So that's what the demigods are doing right now. They were given a job and they didn't run with it saying, oh, we are going to do it and we are going to be famous, or we are going to be strong, or we are going to make money, or we are going to be appreciated, or whatever. They say, okay, well, first they go to humility. We don't feel capable of doing that work. Still, we want to please you, and we want to do that work well. So please help us understand how to do that work for our benefit and the benefit of all your living entities and your pleasure. So work. And then if we don't do that, and even if we work very hard, then we stay in the cycle of action and reaction. So we do good work, we get good reaction. We do bad work, we do bad reaction. But we stay in duality, and we are kind of engaged in that duality as long as our work is not offered to Krishna. So text 10 read, in the beginning of creation, I really like that. It sounds almost like a Bible. In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generation of men and demigods, along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, be thou happy by this yagya, sacrifice, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things. So that's it. When we perform sacrifice, when we have that mood of sacrifice for Vishnu, and we work in cooperation with the demigods, then all desirable things are bestowed upon us. And, like facilities to serve Krishna in the form of Lakshmi Devi, facilities to serve Krishna in the form of intelligence, facilities to serve Krishna in the form of power, facilities, to serve Krishna in the form of renunciation, facilities to serve Krishna in the form of beauty. All that desirable things are bestowed upon us by those sacrifices. So, Krishna Varnam Twisa Krishna Sangopam Kastram Parshadam Yagir Sankirtana Praya Yajanti Medasaha. This is a verse from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that says, in this age of Kali, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence, again, I will repeat that, people who are endowed with sufficient intelligence will worship the Lord, who is accompanied by his associate by performing the Sankirtan Yagya. So in this age of Kali, we have a boon that it's like we have no qualities. We are like people in the age of Kali, it's like they are defined by quarrel and hypocrisy. That's it. And we can see that. We just open our eyes and, now, like the internet, so much hypocrisy, so much lies, so much scam, so much false information, so much like exploitation of human being from all parts, so much quarrel, you know, within community, within families, and, you know, within nation, within, you know, like everything is divided. In America, it's so strong that polarization for every issue, there is a polarization. And because of that polarization, people, they like, if they are blue, then they are blue. Even if some idea of the red are really good idea, they are blue. And then if they are red, they are red. Even if some idea from the blues is very good, we are red. So it's everything is polarized like that, you know, like, should we, you know, should we, you know, have anything in any issue, I believe, in America, sooner or later is going to become polarized. And then it divides people, and people don't think. There is no more intelligence. It's like, I am blue, that's how I think. I am red, that's how I think. So Kali Yoga, it's hypocrisy. It's there will be quarrel everywhere. Government are plunderer. And then in Kali Yoga, there is one boon, is simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we fulfill all the prescribed duties, and we fulfill all yagya. This is a yagya for this age. The yagya for this age, the sacrifice for this age, is a chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. And by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we are going to please the demigods and Krishna, and we are changing the course of the world. Srila Prabhupada said, we need to spread the holy name of the Lord. By spreading the holy name of the Lord, we'll prevent the Third World War. That's our responsibility, to support the re-spiritualization of the world. So next is text 11. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, thus nourishing one another. They will reign general prosperity for all. So, see, when we do sacrifice, part of the sacrifice go to Vishnu, and then the demigod, because they are happy, they bestow everything upon us. 175. Okay. And then the 12, text 12, in charge of the various necessities of life. So that's what we are looking at. They were given charge of the various necessities of life. That's where we are in the Bhagavatam. And they say, okay, how can we do that? In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yagya, sacrifice, supplies all necessity to man. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So when we eat, anything we eat, even if it's vegetarian, there is, you know, it's nice to adhere to non-violence, but it's just a sub-religious principle. It's not necessarily in itself for spiritual, but it's a sub-religious principle. But that's not enough. Of course, non-violence brings us to sattva, and sattva is it's a better platform. But I think it's this purport. I'm not sure where Srila Prabhupada say. There's a purport where Srila Prabhupada, even if you, okay. Yeah. So he said, the demigods are authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yagya. In the Veda, there are different kinds of yagyas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material quality of the person concerned, different type of yagyas are recommended in the Veda. worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to the different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of the material nature, and before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in a mode of goodness, transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yagas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position for ordinary men. At least 5 yagas, known as Pancha Mahayaga, are necessary. And then, at the end of the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, blah, 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 blah. No, I love that part. The eatable, including grain, fruit, vegetable, milk, sugar, etc., for the person in moral goodness are also eatable for the non-vegetarians, like meat, none of which can be manufactured by man. So man cannot manufacture anything we eat, even the meat. Yeah, even the meat, like meat, even the non-vegetarian, what they are receiving is not anything they are creating. Why are we taking it for granted? Why are we not accepting life? We are provided. It's like teenagers. They have no gratitude for their parents. If you have raised a teenager, you will see how it goes. And like most teenagers, they grow up taking what they receive from their parents for granted. And usually they are in a place that, in fact, not only they take it for granted, and they are entitled to receive what the parents are giving, but the parents are not giving enough. So we are all kind of in a teenage kind of place. So it's not manufactured by man. Then again, take, for example, heat, light, water, air, which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rain, breeze, etc., without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essential, all of which are supplied by the agent of the Lord, with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization. Same idea of what we were saying already. All the purpose of all those things that the Lord supplied is for us to be self-preserved, healthy, to serve the Lord, and that's it. For them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization. So all the money we want, if it's not for the purpose of self-realization, and if it's more than the bare minimum, then no, for sure, it's sense gratification, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yaga. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agent of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in this material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the law of material nature. That's natural. Let's say I grow vegetable in my garden and people steal them, then they are thieves. If I go grocery store and I steal things, of course, someone could say, well, I all belong to Krishna, so I can serve myself. And it's true if we offer it to Krishna and we really have that consciousness. But otherwise, if it's just for my sense gratification, then yes, I will go to jail. Yes, I will be accused if I take something without recognizing who it belongs to and, like asking and show gratitude when I receive it, then I'm a thief. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. Again, so that's a society we are living in. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. What's the aim of what's the name of the president? Biden? What's the goal of Biden? I have no clue. What's Putin's goal? I don't know. What's Macron's role? Like aim, like his goal in ruling France? Don't know. Do we know what's their goal? What's their goal? What is their goal? What vision do they have for society? Anyway, the gross material fields have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yagya. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yagya, namely the Sankirtan yagya, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principle of Krishna consciousness. And today, Anasuya, Damayanti, and I, we are going to do a Sankirtan yagya, and today is a very inauspicious day. According to the Veda, when there is any eclipse of the moon or the sun, it's dark. It brings darkness upon earth. And if we look at history, every time there is such a thing, there is a calamity within a few weeks after an eclipse. So there is a pastime in Krishna book, in a pastime of Lord Krishna. There was, of course, the astronomer at the time. They could predict all those things. They could predict eclipse. They could predict also. They knew astrology very well. All the Brahmins know astronomy and astrology. So the Brahman, they knew astronomy and could predict the eclipse. And also because they knew astronomy, they could also, astrology, they could also predict, what will happen. Like I follow a young Brahman astrologer. He's really a genius. He started astrology, I think he was 7 or 8 years old. Now he's probably 12 or 13. And he predicted what's happened right now in Israel. That's amazing. Like he predicted that there will be major, how it's called, I lost the word.
Conflict?
Like
conflict?
No, conflict, but not conflict like war, like the people who come and destroy you. How it's called?
Attack or revolt.
No.
Genocide.
No, the people who, for example, who are bomb things or do, how they are called? Terrorist. So he did a circle on a map in the world, and it's all around the Mediterranean, And he said the next few months, there will be so much happening there. And we can see Libya and Morocco and now Israel. And he said there will be a lot of violence. There's going to be more and more violence. And there is so much violence in the world. And then as a result of the eclipse today, his prediction is a lot of natural disaster for the American continent. So, I'm taking with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's just completely accurate, but for the last many years, his prediction have been really accurate, including he predicted COVID somehow. So this is a little genius. And so, so we are looking at the eclipse today, and there is no way to counteract the maleficent effect of an eclipse, inauspicious effect of the eclipse. So in the Vedic time, the Brahman, because they had the knowledge of astronomy and astrology combined, they predicted that. And what's happened? The people of Dwarka, Krishna, and everyone living in Dwarka, they went to the place called Kurukshetra to perform sacrifice. And then it just happened, the people also from Vrindavan came to the same place of sacrifice. It's a holy land where they started to perform a lot of sacrifice to counteract the effect of those inauspicious events in astronomy. So today, Damayanti and Cyanide, we are going to do that, and I encourage everyone to engage in that Sankirtan Yagya. Chant more, pray for the world. There is prayer that the light will come in the world, that peace will come in the world, to the light of God, to the understanding of God, to the understanding of that we are eternal, and this temporary body and situation are not that important. So that's our duty. Our duty, if we really want to do something for the world, the thing that is going to affect the world is not trying to move the material energy from here to there, try to, put it in a bowl and move it and mix it and say, oh, it's changed. No, it's the same. It's going to be the same. As long as the consciousness is the same, it's going to be the same. But what can make a difference is changing the consciousness. Or we can all become demigods. And then, like the Christian says, the Christians are right when they say heaven on earth. It is possible to bring heavenly atmosphere on earth. How? By turning to God, by turning to Krishna. So I'm going to stop here because it's 9 o'clock. There's many more things we could speak about, but I'm going to stop it. Okay. Yavad baling teja agamakale yata vayamcha namadama yatra yato bayael shamte ime iloka baling avontonam adantyanuha. So the verse for today is Canto 3, Chapter 5, Text 49, and it reads, O unborn one, please enlighten us regarding the ways and means by which we can offer you all enjoyable grain and commodities, so that both we and all other living entities in this world can maintain ourselves without disturbance and can easily accumulate the necessities of life, both for you and for ourselves. Hare Krishna, thank you for listening. And I'm ready for our discussion, conversation, question, comments, challenges, what's happening for you now, if anyone would like to share. I see a chat, let me see. Apocalypse, yeah, Rukmini. It's not going to get better. It's just the beginning. It's like the tip of the iceberg, what's been happening since 2020. It's just the ball is rolling, and it's going to go to roll for a long time. Like in the Bible, the Jewish people were in a desert for 40 years. So we can expect like time of challenges in the history of human being. If we look at the history of human being, time of challenging are long, and we have been starting that. Of course, it's not like it was very heavenly before that, but it seems to be like increasing, like rolling, exponentially increasing.
It helps to remember, first of all, thank you so much for your energetic, wonderful speaking and sharing. And it helps to remember that we're in the age of Kali. Then it helps like not try to make so much sense out of it or lament in a way that, can be so painful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that it's like, oh yeah, it's a reminder that like the place to go is just chanting and remembering the Lord and praying for people to go to the Lord and to like get out of moving material nature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When we understand our condition, our situation, then we have more chance to accept it. As long as we don't understand, as long as we don't have the knowledge and understanding of our situation, then we fight the situation without understanding it. With knowledge, and that's what the Bhagavad Gita gives us two types of knowledge: knowledge of where we are and knowledge where we can go. Mm-hmm. And without knowing where we are, there is no way we can know where to go. So understanding, yes, it's Kali Yoga. I want to read you some verses about Kali Yoga if you want. You like to hear more about Kali Yoga from the Veda?
Okay.
Okay. For you and everybody else. In the Kali Yoga, Brahmins will certainly become like impure Shudras. And all learn one, that was from the Skanda Purana. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.10, all learn one. In this iron age of Kali, men have short lives. They are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, unlucky, and above all, always disturbed. That's from Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, from the Vara Purana, demons take advantage of the age of Kali, to appear in Brahman families. Now, from the Srimad Bhagavatam 12.140, not purified by the Vedic ritual and lacking in the practice of regulative principle, they will be completely covered by the mode of passion and ignorance. 12th canto again. Then, O king, religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, and memory will diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of the age of Kali. And for sure, like all those things have already, their truthfulness is so rare. And cleanliness, like I try to be clean, but like the way Prabhupada described cleanliness is like revolutionary. And most people who come to my house think it's very clean. And I'm living here and I think it's not. And we have no idea what cleanliness is really. Tolerance, that's not very difficult to see. I've gone. Mercy, as long as there is slaughterhouses, there is no mercy. Duration of life, people, there is, decreasing. Physical strength, for sure, like when we think of people working so hard all day and night, even 200 years ago, people had so much more physical strength. And memory is a big one now with, computer and smartphone and now AI. Like human are becoming stupider and losing their memories. It's just like something, like even my mom, she's 90-year-old, and of course now she's losing her memory, but due to old age. But there is so much more in our memory database about so many things than in mine. I can see the difference. She has so much more memories than me. Yeah, you can relate to bad memory. Me too, Kathleen. So in Kali Yoga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth. Woohoo! It wasn't the case. Even 500 years ago, it wasn't the case. A person good birth will be someone who is close to the church, someone who is like respected for his good character, someone who is maybe a teacher in a village, someone who is giving knowledge. And here it's like such, and imagine it was written 5,000 years ago. And there is still country where it's not true, but we can see in the Western world, consider the sign of a man's good birth is his wealth. Yeah. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. That's true too. We can see in Israel, the Israeli soldiers, they are so given so much power that out of their zeal, they create so much more violence. There is violence there, but the attitude of, like the young Israeli, and that's, it's just such a mess because on both sides there is antagonizing. Yeah. Men and women will live together merely because of superficial attraction. Yeah? Is that true? Yeah. Again, it was written 5,000 years ago when it wasn't the case. And even 500 years ago, it wasn't the case. People were coming together for the institution of marriage because it was good for society to create good children. And success in this state will depend on this seat. Is that true? Womanliness and manliness will be judged according to one's expertise in sex, and a man will be known as a Brahman just by wearing a thread. So I could continue. There's many, many more verses about Kali Yoga, but I appreciate Kathleen's comment that we need to know where we are at. What's the present, what's the present self look like in order to first start desire to not be in prison. And also after we know where we are at, we don't need to fight it. And we can focus on okay, life beyond the prison. And how can I transcend my situation? Not fight it, not resist it, not having emotional attachment to expectation that things should be different. And rather, how can I move above it and see it from a perspective of God? And from that perspective, do the work of God, be a godly person, do the work of God, and transform people's consciousness that they will come to want a real peace. Bhaktaram Yagyatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Suidam Sarvabhutena Yankatmam chanting Rishati. Chanting means peace. And that's called the peace formula in the Bhagavad Gita. What is the peace formula? To know three things: that God is a recipient of all sacrifices. Yeah, Bhaktaram Yagya Pasadam. Bhaktaram Yagya. I just say. And Sarvaloka Maheshwari, that God, Sarvaloka, all the planetary system, upper, lower, middle, everything, upper, lower, middle, on earth too, they come from him. And Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, that's so beautiful. Surit means friend. Suridam Sarva Bhutanam, that is a friend of all living entities. Is not simply the friend of the Israelis, or is not simply the friend of the Palestinian. Is not simply the friend of the Ukrainian, and is not simply the friend of the Russian. Is a friend of all living entities. And then one who knows that will attain unlimited peace. Just by knowing those three things, we achieve peace in this world. Any other comments? Question? I know I went on with that Kali Yoga from Kathleen comment. There is a chat. Let's see. I can write. Can you say more about duality, more subtle example in our lives on how it is unhelpful? Well, thank you for your question, Kathleen. Duality means, to see things in terms of good and bad, auspicious, inauspicious, heat and cold, to see things like in a form that something should be happening and something shouldn't be happening. All that is duality. The duality means we have opposing views. Duality is creating for us to not see Om Purnamidam Purnamada Purnameva Vashishyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyati. I think I probably missed one of the lines. But this verse said, like the Lord is perfect and complete, and all unit emanating from the Lord is also complete, and perfect and complete. And because the Lord is complete, then there is no, there is no separation of the Lord with his emanation. So it's a really hard pill to swallow. To step out of duality, the way to do that is to follow that verse. It's an invocation of the Sri Upanishad. If you have the Sri Upanishad, Kathleen, I encourage you to read it. And if you don't have it, you can send me an email and I'm going to send it to you. And that's the first invocation of the Sri Upanishad, where Srila Prabhupada, what leads us to duality. If I have Sri Upanishad, I'm going to read something Prabhupada in a spoken says about this invocation. because it's powerful. So the verse reads, the personality of God is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanation from him, such as this phenomenal world, this world, are perfectly equipped as a complete whole. So this phenomenal world is perfectly equipped as a complete whole. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete by itself. And because he is a complete whole, even so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. I'm looking, there is something from the purport that I want to read to you. I just need to find it. Okay, here. There is complete facility for the small complete units. So we are a small universe. We are a small complete unit. The Earth is a small complete unit. Our full universe is a small complete unit. You know, you can expand it or reduce it to so many places. There is complete facility for the small complete unit, namely the living beings, to realize the complete and all form of incompleteness. So that's duality. All form of incompleteness are experienced only on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. So when we see duality, this is due to our on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. The human form of life is a complete manifestation of the consciousness of the living being, which is obtained after evolving through 8,400,000 species of life in the cycle of birth and death. If a human being does not realize his completeness within the complete, in this life of full consciousness, he loses the chance of realizing his completeness and is put again into the cycle of evolution by the law of material nature. So again, we see duality because an all form of incompleteness are experienced only on account of incomplete knowledge of the complete. Coming to a place, there was, I don't know if you know Byron Katie. Byron Katie, she does the work. So she's really funny. She say, you know, our Indians say namaste, like that, namaste. And she does like, no mistake. And all the work of Byron Katie is based on this invocation from Shija Upanishad. That, yeah, she works, you know, she works on a Brahman realization level. This is not complete. You know, she, like it's lacking maybe Bhagavan, Krishna. At the same time, it's a level of realization to be able to see that. No mistake. Damayanti? Oh, Garuda?
Hare Krishna, good morning. I'm just catching the end of your class, and actually it's kind of interesting because this is the topic that I was gonna choose for tomorrow. So I feel like what I'll probably do you know how long it takes to post this class? Do you post it?
I imagine, I don't know. Ladini is
Oh,
going to do that. She does it maybe once a week or twice a week, so I don't know.
okay. I was thinking about watching the first part just so I could get a sense, but um, I I feel like I could elaborate on this because I was kind of in this place in my life, you know, looking at, you know, the men's group that I'm a part of, you know, they're really supporting men, seeing the gift in everything that's happened in their life, the things that look traumatic or devastating, and you know, a lot of them are going through a divorce and losing their house and wife and their jobs and everything. So they're really in a challenging place, and it's easy to go into victim consciousness there. So you know they're really helping men, you know, take on the perspective of, what is the gift in this experience? And as you're speaking to this, like, everything is complete, and whole, and they're beyond like, judgment of good and evil and good and bad and all this. If if everything is, if everything is perfect, then it's all a gift. The parts that look like, challenge and turmoil and trauma, and the parts that look great, the great parts. But for some reason, I was like thinking of the original, like, because I've been also starting to read the Bible again, and I was looking at like, this idea that this, when after Adam and Eve committed the first sin, they developed this concept of good and evil. It wasn't there before then, and I'm kind of, seeing it as like, actually they became more in the mode of ignorance, that they lost their, original, like, knowledge of, like, everything is perfect and everything is a gift from God, and then they went into this like duology consciousness. I'm just kind of looking at that, in relationship to what you're discussing. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate like, a lot of personal growth, a lot of people who are, help in personal growth, personal development, human potential. They help people see a blessing in everything that's happened and a gift in everything that's happened. I remember many years ago, I would say more than 20 years ago, I did a training at the crisis center to become a crisis counselor. I really loved my trainer. And one thing that really stuck to me from that training, it was really hammering home for us. And it was really like the people who are coming to us, who call the crisis center, is kind of really traumatic what they are going through. It's always ghastly and very traumatic. And in his training, he was hammering home that in every crisis, there is an opportunity. In every crisis, there is an opportunity. And if like that opportunity are going to be taken by the person who are going through that crisis, by according to the person who is capable of holding the space for them. And that's why in a village in older time Europe, there is a confession, and that's for that. Confession is not simply like I ate too much candy, but it's to have like a confidential place to be able to transform those victim story into blessing from the Lord, because they are always blessing from the Lord. Yeah. However, like someone who's going to a really heavy trauma crisis, then probably it's not the first place we want to meet them. But eventually, this is it's the only way they are going to step out of their duality and step out of their victim story. Thank you for sharing, dear Gauda Prabhu. Anything else? Thank you all for listening. Kwantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Kathleen Prabhu.